Welcome to Prodigy Sportive Adaptations. P.S.A. podcast is an unconventional podcast that challenges the audience to think outside the box using real-life experiences, clever narratives, original quotes, and the creative use of satire in order to break the audience free from negative paradigms and push them towards their own personal growth. This is by no means a method to condemn or bash the audience, but instead encourage and showcase a different perspective that might not have been seen before. P.S.A. is designed to showcase to the listeners that the power of the mind is not a joke, and if a person can learn to control their mind and their thoughts, they will ultimately control their life. This podcast serves as a means of entertainment and educational purposes only, and not a replacement for therapy or any other type of professional help that the audience may desire. Y'all, it's been 3.5 long months, but I'm back. You know, I've been seeing all these new podcasters and, you know, all these people, you know, they was trying to take me out. You know, like Drake said, that's when they smile in my face. Whole time they want to take my place. Whole time they want to take my place. Whole time they want to take my place. But guess what? You can't take my place. Because this was specifically designed for me. Now, I'm not saying what you got wasn't designed for you. I'm just saying for me. This for me. You feel me? But again, y'all, thank y'all for rocking with me in this off season. You know, it's been, the last episode was December 3rd, and now it is officially March 18th. We here, we popping. You know, a lot of people been waiting, they've been anticipating my return. But, you know, the king had to come back to the throne. What Jay-Z and Kanye say, watch the throne. This is a throne. I'm on it. Can't be taken off. But seriously though, I wanted to do one of those Twitter things where it was like the influencer, the influenced. I ain't gonna do it, but I could. All right, y'all. Seriously, y'all. I'm done clowning for real. But for real, thank y'all for tuning in to today's very first episode. I wanted to give y'all a visual for the first episode, and that's what we doing. So we got it. It's popping. It's cracking. Today's episode is good. I love it. And it's kind of going off of my little rant at the beginning. I think I'm going to start doing rants at the beginning a lot more now because I like that one. Also, that was not playing. Them be the best ones. All right, so let me get to today's title because I'm playing too much. Today's title is called How Podcasting Has Become the New Rap Game. My return is kind of like the Sorry for the Wait. Lil Wayne, Sorry for the Wait. That's what this is. And I'm sorry for the wait, but I had to get myself together. You know, after this first episode, I didn't know what episodes I was going to do. I was kind of drawing a blank, but then, you know, life started lifing. So it gave me a lot of content, a lot of material that some of y'all can relate to. Some of y'all may can't, but, you know, it is what it is. Am I moving to fully visual? Not quite yet. Maybe in the future. But right now, I like, you know, visuals here and there. Okay? So the meme reads, first they wanted to be rappers. Now they want to be podcasters. Just because everyone is trying to do it doesn't mean that they should. All right. So it's shady in a sense, but it's more so from the standpoint of everything ain't for you, and that's okay. You have to know what's good for you. But the inspiration comes from people who are rappers or trying to be rappers, you know, people trying to be podcasters, things of that nature. And of course, a quote I saw that I really like, this says, just like any other form of art, rap is a representation of the artist's personal experiences and emotions, a representation of what is living in a rough environment really means, and an expression of the grit that tough life demands. So I like that because I kind of feel like it kind of correlates with podcasting a little bit because it's like you need life to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Rappers, and you got some of your rappers who don't really talk about nothing, but rap originally started as storytelling. So, all right, y'all. So I'm by myself, clearly. Ain't nobody finna pop out the bushes. At least I hope not. Not today. I've had an unexpected guest recently and it wasn't too good. But I'm alive. All right. So today's title is called Easy. Today's story is titled Easy E. All right. E wanted to make a lot of money. Legally, of course. But he didn't mind doing it illegally either. He saw how much money people were making in the pandemic. And he said that he wanted to do the same. His friend Roscoe was a scammer. He tried that. He really didn't get the money he wanted. He also almost got caught. That scared him away from it altogether. His friend Jamisa showed plates. E could cook too, so he tried that. It didn't work for him either. E had a colleague named Curtis who was paid to podcast. E felt like he had good conversation, so he started a podcast too. But that ain't work either. E became real sad about it. He was sad from the fact that he tried to do all these things he was good at, and they didn't really work. One day he vented to his homegirl Allison about the situation. After he vented, she informed him that the reason his stuff didn't pop is because those people were told to do that, and those were God-given talents, and that they were given to steward, and it was something that they loved to do and not something that they were just good at. She told him to focus on what he loves doing and not what makes a whole lot of money. E's mind was blown. All right, so the lessons from the story: just because it's semi-easy doesn't mean it'll be easy for you. So just because it's easy for Lil Ray Ray and you good at it too, don't mean it's gonna work for you. Okay? The other one, just because you're good at it doesn't mean you'll be successful at it. You might can sing. You might can run a good business. You might can create good, shirts, but that doesn't mean that that's going to be your thing. That's not what makes you the it factor. You feel me? And then the last thing, do what you love. So many people get caught up in what makes money, and a lot of things in this world we can do for free. No, not for free. I'm drunk. Not for free, but you can do from a standpoint of I love it and it makes a lot of money. But everything's just not for you. You feel me? So you got to keep that in the back of your head too. All right, y'all. So I have only 2 definitions today. I went ahead and defined podcasters as a person who makes an audio or video recording and puts it on the internet. And then I defined rapper, which says a person who performs rap music. But they're kind of similar in a sense, and I'm going to get to that soon. So let's move on to one of my favorite segments, QT&A, questions that need addressing. All right, so the first one is, it says, how many people have been influenced by P.S.A? No, I'm just playing. All right, this is fun, y'all. Please don't take this personal, because it's only going to be that one person who won't take it personal. Don't, please, this is just a joke. Relax. Joke. That's what Martin say, right? The second question says, why does everyone want to be a podcaster? Honestly, it's become a new wave. I'm all here for it, especially the new people that's coming up, people that I know personally, keep it going. If you need inspiration, if you need any, advice, please call me. I will not hesitate to tell you. I think people really doing it because of the money, because it's something fun. People feel like they got something to say. So they like, I'm going to do this. All I say is, if you want to do it as a hobby, cool. But if you really want to do something serious with it, make some money, you got to put in the work. It's like anything else. The third one, it says, what is the difference between a wannabe rapper and a wannabe podcaster? They both homemade. It was made at home. Homegrown. You feel me? The term homemade does sound kind of like, but it's one of the things, really. Now, another question, it's kind of like a new segment within a segment. So every time I do QT&A from now on, I want to do, how does this pertain to mental health? Because sometimes some of the episodes, people were like, well, there really wasn't mental health. It's all mental health. But remember, mental health is how we act, think, and feel. Mental health is our paradigm, all right? Remember, paradigm, I haven't said it. I don't think I said it like none last season, but I have to bring that word back because that's what I was known for, paradigm. Paradigm is that's our internal blueprint, all right? That's our worldview. That's how we see things. That's why when this thing happens, we react like this. Or when we see that, we do that. Because that's how we feel in turn. That's in our mind, in our blueprint of self. That's what we think makes the most sense. You feel me? So I think the issue is people with the whole podcasting thing. Everybody wants to be a podcaster or a rapper because they feel like I can do this, which is a nice and a great belief system to have, that you can do this. But you may be a little delusional from the standpoint because you can't do everything. And like in the story, even if you're good at it, that don't mean that's your calling. That don't mean that's your passion. What's to say you a great football player and you feel like you're supposed to be in the NFL, but what if God wants you to use your ability to train kids to put them in the NFL? But in your mind, you think, I should be in the NFL. But God said, no, you have the ability, you have the skill set, you know what it takes. But you need to sacrifice your flesh and say, these 20, 30 kids, I'm going to train them to be in the NFL. You get what I'm saying? So it's like maybe how we think it should go, God has a totally different, path. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. A totally different path. Now, this could be damaging to a person's mental health because they could feel like, well, I feel like I should be here. I dress better than this person. I should be in that magazine, or I should be on that runway, or, I'm a better entertainer. I'm funnier than this person, but yeah, why they on the stage? Why I'm not there? Maybe that ain't where you supposed to be. That's where they supposed to be. Maybe your time is coming, but but that's an episode for another day. But in the same breath, just because, again, I keep saying you good at it, don't mean that it's supposed to be your thing, your it factor. And I like that. I'm gonna keep that up this whole episode. All right, so Battle of the Streaming Wars. So let's talk about how a few things that rappers and podcasters have in common. So the episode is titled "How Podcasts Have Become the New Rap Game." Let's do it. So first and foremost, everybody's trying to do it. Everybody trying to be a rapper. Everybody trying to be a podcaster. I mean, it is what it is. It says the second one, you can do it from home. Look where I'm at. It's my studio. I'm in the house, in the West Wing. So, people rap at home. People be in their closets like this. Rapping with their headphones on, telling their roommates to be quiet. People do it. I've seen it. Podcasts, just like a rapper and their music, it requires audio. Does that mean that you can sometimes have visuals? Absolutely. For me, I have visuals sometimes. Rappers have visuals sometimes. Every song that they make don't have a video for it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the same thing in that aspect. Podcasting, rapping, can go on tour. All right? You can go on tour. You can't go on tour. It's a real thing. You can win awards. Can you hand me that award back there so I can show the people my award? Right there, please. You can win awards. All right? This right here. I got this. I won. This is one of many. Tap in. All right? You can go on tour. You can go on tour. You can win awards. It's what you can do. I promise. I'm telling you. It's so much you can do. So much you can do with it. You just got to keep that in the back of your head, though. You feel me? So pay attention to that. The thing with rap too and podcasting, they both storytelling. People telling stories. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the thing with the whole, rapping or most rap. And then it's kind of like I feel like you got your rappers that's like your podcasters where like it sound good, but they're not really saying nothing. Cause I done heard some podcasts. I'm like, I ain't saying nothing. It's just people talking. So there's that too. You can have features or be featured. I think that's pretty dope. You can talk about whatever you want. And then the last one, it says advertisers spend money on both, but what do they spend the most money on? At this point, advertisers actually are trying to spend more money with, podcasting than rapping, because with rapping, it's like you have to be that mainstream person to get the Pepsi, the Super Bowl commercials and all that stuff. But with podcasting, you can be a dude who wear house shoes everywhere he go. And you can get an advertisement, you know what I'm saying? You can be a person who ain't nobody never seen the lower half of your body. You ain't got to necessarily be on the stage. So it's so many ways. And I got this from, according to How to Podcast, from Streaming Wars. Okay? It says, once a nerdy niche industry populated by talk radio hosts, podcasting has become something everybody wants to get into. With big tech companies and record labels pouring hundreds of millions into landing into the next big audio show. So even with rap, like, people are looking for the next big thing. They looking for the next big superstar, the next big, thing, again, right here, world's greatest superstar, that's me. So they looking for it. And they gonna find it, they gonna find it one way or another. Either they gonna find it or they gonna make one. Can somebody be made into a podcaster? I feel like you can be made to be anything. So I almost said something, but I ain't trying to get canceled. So I'm gonna keep on going with that. All right. Now, also, podcasters and rappers, they both share one more thing in common. People be having beef. All right, it's podcast beef, it's rap beef. You know, a few weeks ago when I was getting prepared for this episode, I said, y'all, somebody irritate me so I can get in the booth and go hard. That came from this joke my homeboy made. Shout out to Ignorant Noodle. Dre was like, he was like listening to one of the episodes and he was just like, so do people just piss you off and you go in the studio and talk about it? I said, no, that's not what happens. A lot of stuff be already pre-planned and then I might bring it up on air, just kind of a situation that happened that involved me and like, am I tripping? Am I not? I want people to tell me. I like when people have their opinions, so I like that. All right, do I have podcast beef? Not that I know of, but you know, hey, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So whenever I get some, you know, when they go low, we go high. Ish. High-ish. All right, so here's another question. Why do we as people, this is more of the mental health, I guess, aspect. Why do we as people do what everybody else is doing? If these people are, you know, prospering in their photography, why do we want to take cameras? Why do we want to take pictures? Do we actually enjoy taking pictures? Or are we on some like, well, I can do it too? So here's why people do it. We feel like if Jamie can do it, then I can do it, which is not necessarily the case. Because you don't know the gift God's blessed them with. You don't know what he may specifically have called them to do for him. So, you know, everybody's ministry is different. You know, also, there's a lot of money in it. Typically with stuff, I've heard people say, especially when it comes to like rapping and they got their friends rapping, they be like, it's so much money in rap, I'm finna rap because there's all this money in it. But that don't mean you supposed to do it. That don't mean you that good at it, you know? And, you know, I mean, it's just it is. I'm not saying that, you know, if you hear this and you're a rapper, and I know you, I'm saying you whack. I'm just saying that maybe you're not good enough for that. You feel me? Then, you know, people want to be famous. People just want to be seen. People want they want the spotlight. Everybody can't handle the spotlight. Y'all can't even handle when people don't agree with you. How you gonna handle millions of people talking about you? Intentionally trying to piss you off if you can't even handle somebody disagreeing with you without shutting down. Think about that. Then your cousin or somebody that hyped you up. Now we love our cousins, we love our family, we love our supportive people, but I'm gonna tell you now, your cousin's a liar. The nigga steal and kill, but he ain't gonna lie and tell you a great rapper. You think he ain't gonna lie to you? He just stole some money from you the other day. You just talked about it. Now all of a sudden he's telling you the truth. That don't make sense. Let's weigh in on that. Let's keep going. Finally, as we move on through the episode, I'm coming up into now how podcasting has become the new rap game. This comes from Forbes.com. It says 6 reasons why podcasting is the future of storytelling. Now, it's 6 reasons, but I think it's 3 that really correlate with the episode and what I'm trying to go for. So I'm going to stick with the 3. So it says, first, content is improving. It says, with swelling investment, podcasting shows have and will continue to grow in ambition for sure. But it is not an investment alone that is driving improvements in content. It is the instinct of the medium savvy creators to exploit the same luxury afforded in digital video. Freedom. Freedom from a network and program clock and freedom from broadcasting. Now, I ain't got no label. I ain't signed my soul over to no label. I ain't trying to. I'm out here trying to be like Joe Budden. Joe Budden own everything he do. When you sign to somebody, you really you hate to say it like this, but you kind of a puppet, honestly. It's like this. You know, you have to do what they tell you to do. They take a bunch of your money. We saw that stuff that happened with Megan. We seen that stuff that happened with many other people in these industries who signed to a jank label or a label that ain't, you know, and then it's like you have to do what that label wants. But when you in your own lane and on your own stuff, it take longer, but it's worth it in the end. Because you want that freedom. I want to walk in liberty. You know, that's me personally. I want to walk in liberty and freedom. So I feel like it's best for me. Now, if you don't agree with that, then that's you. But for me, that's how I feel. And also, digital media is growing. People's videos and content creators are getting better with the new technology. Videos are way more advanced than they was in the 90s, in the 2000s. Although the 2000s to me were better storytelling, these ones are now more, they're more active. They're more extreme, I guess ain't the word I'm looking for, but you get what I mean. All right, moving on. It said 2, talent base is growing. It said with real dollars available and an increasing body of buzzy and ambitious work completed in the medium, premier talent is more interested in podcasting than ever before. We now see such names as Lena Dunham dabbling in the space among other celebrity participants. New York Times Modern Love podcast features actors and actresses like Jesse Taylor, Ferguson, and Dakota Fanning on the show each week. Now, here's the thing with that. Yes, celebrities are getting more into podcasts, and there's even some rappers that have their own podcast. The thing with that is somebody could say they got mad because it's like they already got money. Why I need to come to podcast? Listen, podcast is a $1 billion industry. Anybody could podcast. Your granny could podcast. Your granny could blow up on podcasting if she had the right niche. So I don't trip off stuff like that. I mean, but in a sense, it's taking over. And it's taking over the areas of, weekly things. It's for the standpoint of people are investing a lot of money in it. And they see it as a booming market. So that's why they're doing it. And then it says the third one, virtual reality is on the way. It says, why? In audio storytelling, listeners are now moved through a narrative by sound, building, music, character dialogue, and narration. Given the difficulty of a talking audience through a controlled visual sequence in a spherically immersive VR environment, audio storytelling is the best option for traditional linear stories in the format. So, again, y'all, everybody loves a visual. Your favorite song got a visual that go crazy. You gonna like it. It's been plenty of times I didn't like people's visuals and end up liking the song. What song recently came out? I didn't really like the song, but I liked the visual. I can't think of it right now. I'm think of it later though. But yeah, it happens all the time. And it's kind of like with podcasts. I mean, you got a dope visual. People might tune in more quicker because everybody don't like listening. But in the same breath, it's only podcast. It's some podcasts that's only audio and people still tapping in, and they, in their house selling out, shows. If they go on tour, they doing all these things. So it's something to definitely take advantage of and to look into. With that, I just feel like, shout out to everybody that's tuning into this now, because you are here witnessing greatness. You are here witnessing something amazing. And especially for the people who've been rocking with me since the very first episode of season 1. So let's end it off with the tips and scenarios for my college students. Now today, y'all, I don't have that many. I only got 2. The first one is, I see nothing wrong with trying. You in college, it's time to explore, that basically the 1 and 2 went together, so it's really 1. But it's a time to explore. It's a time to learn yourself. It's a time to see what you like, what you don't like. Maybe you could start rapping and you be like, oh, that's something I did in college. You start dancing or something. You didn't. Oh, it's only something I did in college. Ain't nothing I want to do the rest of my life. It just was a fun hobby. Maybe you started podcasting and it blew up. Looking back, if I got all them refunds, I would have spent all that money on on shows and YouTube. I would have did all of that. I would have took all them refunds instead of blowing it on happy hours and going out to eat and trips to Louisiana and DC and other places randomly. So keep that in the back of your head, all right? Okay, y'all. So we ending off today with the question and challenge. So the question and challenge is there something you feel that you're good at and that you should get paid for? Now don't be coming over here talking about some I put it down the best, or I sell the best weed and nothing crazy like that. Or I grow the best weed and nothing crazy like that. But keep that in the back of your head and answer the question. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to the very first episode of season 5. Next week is going dumb. P.S.A. signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. Peace.